Welcome back to On the Path, Battle Preparations.
Oh,
And we
shit.
have a four-banger this episode. We're doing 4 quests, but it really feels like 1.5 or maybe 1 3/4.
Yeah, there's a lot of little mini ones here within battle preparations. It's another one of those kind of umbrella quests where you've got four within it, and some of them you don't even have any kind of controls. It's just like a big long cutscene. So we can get through four pretty easily in one episode, I think.
Yeah, a lot of preparations before, and now it's the battle. A little bit of house cleaning if you do not know yet. Make sure to check out our new dedicated YouTube channel under the 983 umbrella, where you'll be able to find this podcast and anything we do in the future.
That's quite exciting to have our own Wii channel now.
Yeah, especially right as we're about to finish The Witcher 3.
Yeah, perfect.
Which came up so quickly
Yeah.
as we really have this episode, and it's kind of maybe two more to actually
Yeah.
get through the main quest, and that's dedicating an entire one to the endings.
Yeah, because the next one is on thin ice, and that's when it starts the actual finale, kind of.
Yeah, I think we actually had it marked or mapped down how we were going to do it, but it may be thin ice to the ending in the next week's episode, and then we'll have one for the full on endings. And then we will go back and absolutely make sure we do a lot of the side quests that covered Act 3 and all that, especially Reasons of State. My God, I'm not going to forget about talking about Reasons of State.
Yeah, that's the biggest one we want to go back and do, I think.
That's going to be that. We're going to talk about Reasons of State more than we may talk about. I may want to talk about Reasons of State more than the remainder almost of this game because, yeah, been having that one in the chamber for a while, and we'll have some good stuff there. So
I am looking
make sure to
forward to
check
that
out
one,
the
yeah.
dedicated On the Path channel in the link below. Also, we had the special episode talking about speculating with the Henry Cavill news that he is leaving The Witcher, and there's been a little bit more information come out, but nothing is concrete.
Yeah.
It's sources say, which again, a lot of those sources are there, but there hasn't been anything from Henry Cavill, Lauren Hestrick, or anybody directly from it. Now all the internet sleuths go out and they pick through the interviews, what he says, especially leading up to it. But the only thing we know is he is leaving. Liam Neeson.
No,
Again,
no, it's not Liam Neeson.
It's in the head, and I'm just like, Liam Neeson like runs by, and it's like, no.
Hello.
Liam Hemsworth is going to be Geralt from seasons 4 and 5 that they are currently writing, I believe. So make sure to check out that episode. We talked for a little bit about it, pure speculation. And as always, even in our Discord, absolutely talk it out. Let's talk this through. And we haven't had an issue with it, which is good because we both would have stopped it, completely as, no toxicity, nothing personal against the creators. Like, this is just a TV show. If you don't like it and it's that big of a thing, you don't need to watch it.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it is completely normal and encouraged to talk about it and talk about, theories and stuff. Like, that's fine. But I would never want to be hounding on people or being abusive and stuff. It's just completely unnecessary. And you like you said, you don't need to watch it or be involved if you really are that upset.
Yeah, and that was something I know. A big thing of that was Star Wars. When The Last Jedi came out, there's a huge, massive toxicity thing there. Game of Thrones, the final season, to me was not the actual episode, but the discourse around it and the vitriol and toxicity that came directed, mainly at D&D, the showrunners, and like that just left such a horrific taste in my mouth.
Oh yeah.
That with a lot of the, The Witcher, sadly, The Witcher's had a ton of it, with the initial news of casting, when how dare they use non-white actors and actresses and stuff like that. There's a huge toxic uproar about that. So, with something like this, it's a little bit more, it had been stabilized, I guess you could say, because that element was gone because they didn't, they weren't going to stick around for the first season, much less the second season.
Yeah.
And so now you're kind of seeing that just ugly head, get reared up. So, if that's something that you don't like, make sure to join the Discord, and where it is a civil and I would say productive, talking through of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy all the chats that we have in there. And, sometimes it is just like stupid memes and stuff. And other times it is, genuine, well thought out conversations. So it's a good balance.
It's about half stupid memes,
It
I'd
is,
say,
but yeah.
which can be good. Okay, so again, yeah, we'll plug all that stuff down in there as well. I just took a drink from my Gatorade bottle, and I'd forgotten. If you're
Oh,
watching
who's
the
that?
video, you can see it's Anna from
Oh
Frozen
yeah.
sticker
Oh,
on
what's
the
she doing
bottom of
down
my
there?
bottle. Because kids get in my room, my
Oh.
classroom, not my actual room, not my bedroom, my classroom, and they put these stickers everywhere. And they put this one of Anna on the bottom, and I went to clean it one day, and I was like, God damn it. They put that in there. So I
It's a
just
good
realized that when I was
prank.
holding it up, I'm like, people are going to see Anna. If you're watching the video, there you go. All right. So I think that's all the house cleaning we have to do. We'll make sure to plug everything at the end. Are we
Mm,
ready to head to Skelliger?
for battle preparations. Let's go.
Battle preparations. The first thing we need to do, though, is before we leave Novigrad, Ciri has to meet with the Lodge. And we have, I believe, I'm pretty sure, there are 5 major choices in this entire game
Yep,
that determine the endings, right?
correct. Yes, I've been
There,
reading up on them this afternoon actually to make sure I remembered them.
okay. The first two, I just completely drew a blank on what those first two were.
You want me to
Yeah,
remind
please.
you?
Yes.
Yeah, so the first one is how to handle Ciri after blood on the battlefield. And it's the snowball fight. So you
Yes.
either
And then,
take her drinking with, I think it's Lambert's ale or something, or you have the snowball fight. The snowball fight is your positive choice. Decision two is Ciri asks Geralt to go to Velen to face Imlerith. Um, and you either go straight to Velen or you go to visit Emir first. So this isn't technically good bad because you basically you won't get the Witcher ending if you go to Emir, but you
yeah,
might not necessarily get the big bad ending.
it's a neutral.
It's a neutral.
Yeah.
The third one is what we're about to talk about.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say is there's 5 of them and 3 of them are
Yeah.
just boom, boom, boom in these right here. And I remember that being pretty jarring when I found out afterwards. It was like they kind of didn't really space them out
Yeah.
that way. So we get here to Ciri at the lodge, and here's the massive choice: either going with you. Geralt says, "I'm going with you." He will control the meeting, and Philippa offers Ciri a role in the new lodge. And you can definitely see that this is probably not it, just by body movements and whatnot. And you'll do fine on your own. The encouraging one is
Mm-hmm.
definitely the good pick. Geralt encourages Ciri, and Yen stops by, and Yen's kind of peeping through the hole to kind of
Yeah.
see what happens. And she says that Ciri gives Philippa a piece of her mind.
I love that. Yeah. I do love that when if you go in and speak with Philippa and Margarita with her, we see Nibbles the cat, which
Yes,
I did
the
like.
cat.
The cat
The cat
who's just
makes
kind of
its
sitting there.
yeah another appearance, and we'll be back when we get to Hearts of Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nibbles is not gone yet. So this is a major choice here. I do remember, I think I've said this before, my first playthrough way back in like 2016, because I'm pretty sure I played this game right as Blood and Wine was coming out, or it was right after it came out. I couldn't remember. Sometime in the spring of 2016. And I definitely did this right here where you'll be fine on your own.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
I'm pretty sure I picked to go in with her out of
Protective
curiosity.
Geralt.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I haven't read up on how many out of the important decisions you need to hit to get the good ending. Because obviously that's the wrong ending or that's the wrong decision in
I
theory.
believe it's
So
3.
3. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
I
So
think
I would
it's
have
a
been safe
majority.
still. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was -1 we will get to later on here because
Yeah.
yeah, this is really going to be it for what you do. Once you get through these quests today, you'll be set on your Ciri ending. But it's
Ugh.
nice there to see, treating Ciri like an adult.
Yep.
And afterwards, everything is set. We tell Avalok we're ready, and we set sail for Skelliger and Caer Trolda, back to your homeland.
Exactly. Yeah, it feels good to go back to where it all started.
The nice cool air that as it's
Yes.
early November now, and we just checked, it is 80 degrees outside Fahrenheit and
Mm-hmm.
27 Celsius. So
With you, not with me.
not with you. It's like
It's a,
40 where you're at
yeah, it's about 5
and
degrees in Newcastle right
5.
now. It's really
Yeah.
taken. We used to start all of our podcasts with weather discussions. I just
We
remembered that.
did.
But yeah, it's taken a real cold turn here today. So I'm wearing like two jumpers. That's why I look really bulky. I'm wearing two jumpers and I have the heating on my house.
I am trying to, again, as always in Texas, trying not to just burn up and be hot. But yes, the nice, cool, crisp air of the Skelliger Isles. We
Mm.
tell Avalok that we're, oh, I already said that. Depending on whom is king when we get
Oh
there, or
yeah.
queen. Yeah, you ask Ermion about the Sunstone. And if you have in on crates in charge, which would be Ceres or Hjalmar, you have to go kill Madman Lugos. You have to
Yeah.
meet with Madman Lugos. Ermion's yelling at him. Madman's had enough, and you have to kill him and like a dozen of his
All of his
guards.
dudes. Yeah.
Yeah, like all of them. And I know for a fact this was it because I know the first time I played, I had Ceres as queen.
Yes. Yeah. Same. I've never ever had a Svanriga
I
playthrough.
haven't either.
So next time I do a
But
playthrough, I'm fully doing that.
I think that's where I'm at now because this would be my third playthrough. So
Yeah.
if you do have Svanriga, which definitely seems to be the less path
Yeah. Because
chosen,
it just means not doing the quest at all. Because I
yes,
think,
yeah, yeah,
because if you miss this quest where you pick Ceres or Hjalmar, you get Svanriga. But a lot of people want to do these quests. So I don't think
of
it's
course,
very
yeah.
common where people end up with Svanriga unless they
Not
purposefully do it. Yeah.
unless they're just speeding through,
Yeah.
they
Speed
want
running
like a main story quest.
it.
Yeah, like a main story one, they would do that. So if Svanriga is the king, he is meeting with the Nilfgaardian emissary with Berna. Berna's trying to control him, and Svanriga says nope, kills the Nilfgaardian emissary. Everyone's like, oh shit, we thought this dude
Yeah.
was gonna be this little puss. Instead, he of all people has united the clans.
Great ending.
It is, and it's one of those again when you think like, oh, it needs to be an Ancrate, it needs to be Ceres, it needs to be Hjalmar.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually the quote worst ending, if you will, for Skellige.
It is, yeah. So I can't wait to play this one out. The scenes are pretty cool where he suddenly goes against them. So I'm excited to try that next time.
Because especially someone like Crack is like, oh my god, this motherfucker is meeting. He's about to sell us out to Nilfgaard. Him and
Yeah.
his bitch mom, and then he kills him, and you could just see them. There's like,
Oh
you heard
shit.
him, boys. Let's go. It's like, damn, he got the respect of Crack on Crate right there.
I love it.
So the next thing Ermion says to do is you need to talk to a bard named Elvind, or you need to find some pearl divers. All
Yeah.
right. So if you and Elvind is his name, right? For some reason, I wrote it down, but it just didn't sound right.
Oh, I thought it
Elvind,
was.
Elvind. I thought it was too,
Should I
but
double
yeah,
check
look that
or?
up while I yak.
Okay.
Because then we'll have to issue that correction. But I'm sure Elvin is looking for a legendary white whale that is due off the coast, and Geralt asks him about these elven ruins. So the main thing to do here is don't mention Ermion, and he'll
Yes.
tell you the location. Did you check the
Mm-hmm.
name?
Um, the Witcher wiki is taking a long time to load.
The Wiki Witcher.
Wiki
The Wiki
Witcher
Witcher.
Witcher
So, yeah, so
wiki.
don't mention Ermion. He'll tell you the location. The only thing is, this poor bastard misses this whale.
Oh, I know. And you have to decide if you're going to tell him or not.
It like zooms in and you get the
Yeah.
quick time event, and it's either saying mention nothing or point it out. No matter what, he doesn't
He
say
doesn't see
anything.
it.
Like
Yeah.
if you say you're like, oh look, he's like, huh? He's like, never
Mhm.
mind.
His
So
name is
it does
Eyvind. So
Avind.
Eyvind.
Eyvind.
Yeah.
Avind Elvind. Okay. I must have just looked at that as a Y when I did
Yeah.
Avind. Elvind sounds a bit elvish in there.
I like
So
Eyvind.
yeah. So in case if you do mention Ervian here, then he'll say, all right, piss off. I don't want people to ruin it. Geralt says he wants to write like an adventure novel or some shit like you can pick up.
Yeah.
But if you do that, he says, fuck off. He still misses the whale. And you have to go find these pearl divers. And when you find these pearl divers, they just tell you where it is.
Easy.
Yep. Like simple as that. So on your way back, you speak with Yennefer and Ciri, and they give you the quest, Child of the Elder Blood.
Yep.
But they can wait. Women, time to wait. Yeah, this is well, I was about to say it's gonna be man time, but it's not, because we have to go meet with Queen Philippa in the Elven Rooms.
She's in charge in this one, I think.
She is very much, again, when we talk about characterization in there, Philippa is just spot on what I imagine
Yeah.
from the books.
Oh,
Philippa
that's
was in
good.
charge of the lodge. She's kind of in charge again with this resurgence of the lodge, or this remaking of it. And she is to the point. She is blunt. She is arrogant. but she knows what the hell she's doing, or she's confident, at least enough
Yes.
in that.
Yeah, she's very confident. I love the way she speaks and she doesn't beat around the bush ever. She's just,
No,
like you said,
very
straight to the
regal
point.
sounding too.
Yeah, her voice is amazing.
Yeah,
Really, really cool.
great there. All right, so this essentially amounts to a dungeon crawl. So very D&D esque,
Yeah.
where we dungeon crawl here, and this was interesting because it doesn't say kill the monsters. It says exterminate
That's
the
it.
monsters. I'm
Oh, I
like,
didn't notice that.
yeah, I noticed. I'm like, that's an interesting way to put it. Exterminate them. Like that is it's a bit harsh there.
Doctor Who type shit.
It's the same thing. Philippa's glowing eye band is kind of creepy, but I like it.
Yeah, I saw your notes before I started watching that and I was like, I don't remember what he's talking about, but it is actually kind of like a headlamp. And she seems to
Yeah,
be able to see everything. So,
yeah,
so I
but
know
it's like
she,
it's like there's eyes, and then there's a little, I don't know if it's like a diamond, and then this looks like
yeah,
there's kind
yeah.
of oval, and the same thing. It's just like that could really be construed as like those are like her eyes.
Yeah, and it glows everywhere like a torch for her. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. A door blocks the path, and there's this elven legend and this kind of mosaic on the wall. And man, it's time for pet peeve of Brett,
Oh,
because you see this here. We saw it on House of the Dragon.
oh
You
shit,
see it in
yeah.
like everywhere to do this. It needs blood. Okay. Philippa cuts the palm of her hand
Oh, it gives me
with
the
this dagger.
heebie-jeebies.
Why does every story do this when you need blood? Because while I have never done that,
Hmm.
I think you can just tell from the type of skin that it is, this is going to take a while to heal. And especially when they're like, I mean,
Oh, it's
it
grim.
is not like a little to do like a little blood brother thing where you kind of prick your finger. They're slicing
Oh,
their
it
hand
honestly
open.
turns my stomach.
House of the Dragon did it with the Targaryen wedding
Yeah.
with Rhaenyra and Daemon. They did the same thing. So here's the thing. I actually Googled it to see
Did
how
you?
long this would take. And it said 4 to 24 days to heal, like
Oof.
a wound on your palm.
It's one of those places where, like, I always find if I, cut my knuckle or something, it will heal. But then obviously, because you're bending your knuckles all the time, it'll just constantly break open. And I feel like that's what would happen with your palm because your hand is constantly moving. It would just break open all the time when it's
With your
trying to
what?
heal. Your palm.
Oh, okay. It sounded like you said your Pam.
Pam. Oh, yeah, like
Like
a
you bossed it.
palm.
Yeah. Got your
Palm or
Pam.
Pam. Yeah.
Your Pam here.
Palm.
The Pam. Okay. Yeah. Look, that's the thing. And not only that, and especially something in House of the Dragon when it was Daemon, you're cutting, if you're two handed, like his is a bastard sword. You can use two hands on it. We've seen him do it. You're not gripping a sword comfortably
No.
for weeks if you slice the palm of your hand open. Drives me crazy. Now it's one thing if it's Philippa where it's like magic and whatnot, she's gonna be doing it. But when
Mhm.
anytime a warrior, anytime a fighter cuts their goddamn palm open, slicing it with a knife, I'm like, we're not gonna carry a sword for about 2-3 weeks now or use it.
Yeah. So dramatic, isn't it?
It is, and it's like it didn't say they needed palm blood. Just cut
No.
something.
Anywhere else. Or Geralt, who could heal much quicker. Or
It
maybe
drives
Philippa
me.
could use magic to heal.
That's probably true. Hey, this isn't
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They're just Wingardium Leviosa is what picks him up
It
with
makes them float, right?
Husi Masa Dusi. There you go. There's my fanfic Harry Potter. But no, that drives me
I rate
crazy. Man, there's my rant. It's been a long time coming. One great thing, though, is as they start to pontificate to each other, Geralt says, stay away from Ciri when she starts inquiring about things. And Philippa says she's an adult Geralt. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's another clue right there where
Hmm.
people are telling Geralt and the player she's an adult. She will make her own decisions as long as you let her.
Says, don't you think it's time to stop interfering in Ciri's life?
Yeah. And later
All
on,
the
she actually says,
hints.
like, ruin it. So, yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's very going back through this game like we do, borderline line by line. It is just time and time again of people telling Geralt, don't stop treating her like a kid.
Yeah. It's very obvious now when you go through it
Very,
this
very
detailed.
obvious. We have a mirror puzzle challenge. I don't like these.
Now,
I'm
at
not
this
playing
point in the
Uncharted.
story, yeah, at this point in the story, I'm
Yeah.
like, no, we need to keep the pace up. I can't
Every
figure out your
time I
mirror
get here,
puzzle.
yep. Every time I get her, it's like, no, we're almost. Oh no, how do I do this? I don't even remember, but I think you just do it in order, starting from the left, and it might work.
Oh, really? It's not
It
complicated at
might
all.
it might be like left, skip one opposite or something. I
Yeah.
can't remember, but the
Oh, I
last time
can't
I did it,
remember. No.
I think the last time I did, I was like, I'm just gonna go to the left and see what happens. I think I did it like very quickly.
You know what? I would if I when I play it again, I will 100% Google how to do it.
Just,
Like
just,
I'm done. I've done it twice before.
just
I'm not
Google
doing
it.
it again.
Yeah, they'd be fine in certain aspects, but yeah, right here, like I said, Uncharted game, sure,
Yeah.
but not this point, not this point. And we get the sunstone. Once you do this, you find the sunstone. Philippa grabs it and is like, "Hold up, just a second." I love how Geralt's
Hmm.
just like, "Okay, let me guess. You
Here
need
we
it more than
go.
I do. You're gonna turn into. I thought you're gonna turn into an owl and you're gonna leave. I thought it'd been hilarious if she was just like, yeah, and just like did
Exactly.
it,
Yeah.
just like exactly, a quick learner, and then boom, is gone. But no, she does say, however, or she asks that Geralt not ruin Ciri's life, that he's done that enough, and she says, "Take Yen and disappear."
Leave Siri with her.
Leave Ciri with her. She has no interest in reviving the lodge unless she is in control, which the deciding vote. And depending on if you romance Triss or not, sometimes or Geralt may say Triss might object.
Yeah, yeah.
Depending if you've done it, yeah, Triss might object. And yeah, Philippa plans to take Yen's place by Emir's side and alongside Ciri, and then she openly threatens that she will imprison Yen.
Yeah, she full on says, it'd be less awkward for me if you just take Yennefer away somewhere in the woods instead of me having to put her in a prison. Also, it's not going to look very good on me if I have to imprison her. It's like,
Because
she's
she
so
knows,
blunt.
yeah, she knows Yen is not going to back down.
Yeah.
And she's not going to do it. So saying she tells Geralt, Yen listens to you. Here's the advice. Y'all go away. It's like, man, that would have been, spoiler alert, that does not happen. But
Mm.
man, that would have been interesting to see if Geralt tried to broach that, because Yen fucking would not do that at all.
Oh, absolutely not. No,
There would be a fight between Yen and Philippa.
that would be pretty cool.
That would be, oh man. Yeah, but see, at the same time, Philippa is a pragmatist, judging
Mm.
by this. Like her and Dijkstra were kind of good in that vein. If that were the case, obviously Ciri would not take Philippa's side. Like she would
Well,
take
yeah.
Yen's side. So I don't think Philippa would do that. I don't
Hmm.
think Philippa would openly fight against like Geralt's if they weren't sure that they were on their side.
Yeah. Yeah, it
And
would be.
that is a commentary, that is a pre-commentary on Reasons of State.
Oh, I'm so
I
excited
was
to talk about that
thinking,
one. I know.
I was literally like, hey, Philippa, that's like so and so. Reasons of State. They wouldn't open. Okay, I'm good. Cart before the horse there. We'll get there in a couple weeks. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, Philippa gives Geralt the Sunstone. She goes away. Geralt finds his way out, and that's it for the Sunstone.
Hmm.
Next up, very short one. I can probably do it all in one breath. Veni Vidi Vigo, which is trying to get Fringilla Vigo. And this is obviously a take on Veni Vidi Vici. I came, I saw, I
I
conquered.
conquered.
Yeah, the Latin, which I guess is how you're supposed to say it, not Latin. We had a bunch of Italian foreign exchange students
Oh, no way.
come to our
That's
class
cool.
and they were saying Latin.
Really?
Yeah, and I
That's
stopped the whole
interesting.
thing down. I was like, it's Latin, American, hello. No, I'm kidding. I didn't. I'm not that angry, that like arrogant American to correct the Italians on
Excuse
how to say
me.
Latin. Yeah.
Actually.
Excuse me, it's Latin. You're like, oh hell, we got one of them. Geralt has to sneak onto Emir's ship under the cover of darkness.
Mm.
That's really it. Like if you get caught, or if you get caught, they'll shoot at you, but you can always swim towards the anchor. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if they see you or not. Once you get on there, it is Charles Dance. Yay!
Woo.
I
I thought he
know. We
sounded really
just.
different in this one.
You think so?
Yeah, like I was listening to him and I was like, oh yeah, it's Charles Dance, woohoo. And then he just sounded different. I don't know if it's because
Really?
I've been watching a lot of Game of Thrones clips recently, but
See,
he
I've been
sounded like
watching a
he
lot of
was
it.
speaking through gritted teeth. Like
Oh,
there was something just different about it. And I was like, oh, it obviously still sounded like him, but there was just something quite off about it. I don't know what it was.
I kind of always thought that was his performance of Emir was always super subdued, like super serious.
Yeah, yeah. I don't, maybe I'm getting because we've been watching Game of Thrones recently, so many clips, and Tywin's obviously been in a lot of them because we've been watching the earlier episodes. Um, So maybe that's where I'm getting them confused because it's same, but different.
Yeah, he has. Tywin has a little bit more inflection where he kind of is
Yeah,
surprising
yeah.
to make a point. Why would you send me to rule? You know, he kind of
Hmm.
would have that again, that different bit of cadence and inflection that he does not have as Emir, who is always just deathly fucking serious.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So Emir is here, and he says that he likes. Geralt gives him a request from Yen, which Geralt just spent a lot of time in the water swimming, and he pulls out this parchment from his pocket, and it's funny. The video game logic in that is
I
awesome.
love it. I love the back pocket logic of
Just
video games.
back pocket of everything. Swords are back there.
Yeah,
He's
everything.
got
So good.
everything's in the back pocket. It's waterproof. It's like the D&D bag of holding right there. It
Hmm.
goes, this astral plane or whatever the hell it is, and he just has a ton of it. Emir says that he likes that Yen's requests always feel like threats, and he has always liked that about her.
Yeah, he gives her a compliment.
Yeah, and they get it. They're both right there. They both like no time for. It's all business between them two. Very good relationship between them. The dialogue can be different here, as Emmer can be upset that you did not bring Ciri.
Mm.
So that would be definitely when you did not bring her by.
Yes, if you don't go and visit him before going to the Imlerith fight. Yeah.
And we ask for Fringilla, and he says, "Okay," like very quickly. It's
Yeah,
so short.
no trouble.
And Geralt, Ciri, Fringilla's here, and Geralt's like, "Yeah, we got a boat. You know, we can do it." She's like, "I've been on boats enough." And a portal comes out. Geralt says he hates teleports.
Yeah. Boo,
Boo.
Geralt. Give the people what they want.
I know. I was sitting. I was like, "Oh, I gotta watch the rest of this. He's gonna say maybe he'll say something about portals." He's like, "I hate teleports." Oh,
What? Yeah.
terrible, terrible.
There was
L.
one line that I found quite funny from, I was about to say from Charles, from Emir. He goes, "There's no introductions necessary from what I've heard." Is he like alluding to something
On one of
when
the
Fringilla shows up?
oh,
He
there's
says
no
to Geralt, "Oh, there's
introduction.
no introductions are necessary from what I've heard." I thought he was maybe
Oh
getting
yeah,
at
yeah,
that
yeah,
they've got together
yeah,
before. Is that right?
yeah. They have, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's cheeky from Amir.
That is. I think I missed that. Interesting. Okay, yeah. Yep, you picked up on that hint that they've had a prior relationship.
I love that for them.
Yep, and that's gonna do it for Vini Vidi Vigo.
I love that one. Quick to the point and not much for us to do. Nice cutscenes. So the next one is when we're going to visit Avalok's laboratory.
Laboratory.
And the quest is called Child of the Elder Blood. And it's a lovely one because it's Yen, Geralt, and Ciri off on an adventure together, doing a little bit of detective work. So they show up and they're trying, when we show up, sorry, Ciri and Yennefer are already there trying to figure out how to open the door. Yennefer's doing her thing, and we get to do a little bit of a fight with Ciri against a golem, which I always love when you get to fight side by side with Ciri for a little bit, even if it is only one little thing. I just think it's so cute. Seeing
So
how
cute
her
as they
moves are similar and
tear up
stuff.
this golem,
Yeah,
fight this life or death situation. Oh, so cute.
it is cute. Little father daughter moment.
Yeah.
um, so we get in and it goes to a cutscene and we're just having a bit of a rummage around Avalok's things. And Ciri's kind of like, should we be doing this? And Yen's like, you didn't have to come. Like, this is what we're doing. we're searching and pretty much just going through all of his stuff. So some of the things that we can point out is Geralt finds a load of drawings of Ciri on his table and he kind of pokes fun at her, being like, oh, you sure he's just interested to, help you with your powers? And she's basically like, shut up, Dad.
Come on, Dad. See, I
Avalok
did
has a
not. I don't.
crush.
Again, maybe it's because of the history with the books, but I don't
Yeah.
believe that Avalok feels that way. I really don't. Despite everybody else, especially every other NL elf wanting to essentially like breed with her, I really don't get that that's Avalok's game or even in the back of his head.
Yeah. I think it's been planted in my head by stuff like this, but there's not really much else evidence that would suggest that because he has just sort of been quite helpful. And he's stern with her when she doesn't do her training and stuff. He doesn't like go easy on her and stuff.
Yeah, and especially because in the game, Siri really makes it a note time and time again to say she trusts Avalok. Because in the books, that can be seen as shaky or for whatever reason, like Siri was just distrustful in general. It
Right.
seems like in the game, she is very much like, no, I trust him. Like she said that multiple times.
Yeah, she does a lot. I spent then a couple times in this scene as well. Um, the second thing, or one of the other things that we find, is a genealogical chart, which I think is their way of saying a family tree,
Family tree.
of the N. No, sorry, I think I said that wrong. N Hennicare.
Yeah, it's Henny Care
Yeah,
that like they say that
Hennicare.
in the Netflix show as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
Henny Care, Elder Blood.
that's how
Yeah,
they ended the second series, right? I think Istrid was being captured, and he screams at
with
Francesca,
Francesca.
"She's
Yeah,
Hennicare, she's Hennicare."
yeah, like just execute him. He's like Henny
Yeah.
Care. Ooh,
Oh, okay.
got your
And
interest.
that's where we had our wee owl listening in as well. All
Hmm.
ties together. But yeah, so Avalok has basically been doing a study on the family tree or the bloodline of Lara Doran. And apparently he's been the first to study her, and he's attempted to cultivate some kind of genetic mix similar to Ceres, but one excluding the human line. So he's basically trying to
Very,
purify the blood.
very NL belief
Yeah.
right there. Just get rid of that human.
All the human stuff.
Yeah.
But Yennefer is just like, don't worry, like nothing's ever been successful, but this is basically what he's been trying to do. So in another room, Yennefer can hear a woman, and we enter the room, and this elven woman is just sat brushing her hair. She doesn't seem too disturbed by the fact that there's a few people in a room. She just kind of stands up and goes, "What are you doing here?" And Ciri says that she remembers her from Tirna Leah. And this woman's just awful. She's really nasty to Ciri. And she says, "Oh, yeah, Avalax told me a whole load about you. You share Lara Dorn's features, but I don't really see what he sees in you." Like, she says that she grows ill at the sight of Ciri, and she calls her a degenerate half breed. And she kind of just insinuates that Avalax has this task to do. And as soon as he's done with that, he'll be done with Ciri. Like, he doesn't like being around Ciri. He kind of hates her, actually. But he knows he's got this duty to perform or whatever. But as soon as he's done with that, he can be done with Ciri. And
It seems pure. I mean, just jealousy. Yeah, like this.
yeah,
This would be who Avalok's lover,
yeah,
would be because it doesn't make it seem like she's helping him. It just seems like she's
no,
kind of there. And again, I'm probably reading into this a bit much of what they would do. Someone that would be jealous of Siri and the attention.
yes, yeah, the attention for sure. So she's trying to plant seeds in Ciri's head. And Ciri kind of does really take this to heart. You can see in her face she's really upset and angry at the same time, which we know is probably the worst mix of emotions for Ciri.
Yeah. I can't get over the half breed though. It's like,
Half
damn, they're really
breed
putting it in these NL
degenerate.
elves.
Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
horrific. It's really horrible. Um, Yennefer kind of squares up to this woman, and the three of them leave and go back into the other room. And this is where we get our second big decision of the night. Ciri's kind of pacing around, and she says something along the lines of, "Oh, you worried? Are you worried I'm going to wreck the place like I did Kaer Morhen? I really wish I knew how to do that. I wish I could control that because I actually do want to do that right now. I'm really pissed off." And you get your time decision. You can either tell her to calm down or you can tell her to go for it. So the bad decision here is to say to calm down. And Geralt kind of gives her a stern talking to, saying the elf's right. You've got this power. You need to decide what you're going to do with it. Basically, just telling her to wise up. He puts this necklace on her, which belonged to Lara Dorn, and then Ciri basically storms out. And that's it. Your positive decision is to go for it, and Geralt kind of walks around the room kind of sheepishly, and then he knocks a bottle over, and
Here's a little.
basically, yeah, he kind of just goes,
Did you ever
smash.
see? Did you ever see Zombieland?
Yeah, I love that film.
They do that in Zombieland too.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Oh, I forgot
I,
about that.
yeah, I wonder if that's where they got this because that came out like in '09,
Oh, I don't
or
know.
something. But it's that same where they mess up that store where
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
like accidentally knocks it over and then it's dude,
Oh,
and then it turns into just full on like what they do here.
yeah, I love it. And Yennefer just kind of stands there like, oh God, right, okay, I should just
Yeah.
let them get it out of their system. And I love the moment where Geralt and Ciri are just smashing shit up, like they're just going full throttle. And then Yennefer kind of turns around and looks at this portrait of Avalak, this really super stern portrait staring It looks like he's staring right at them all. And then as they all leave, you can see that it must have been Yennefer has drawn like a fake mustache on the Avalak poster, and they just leave the place a tip. And so you can tell when you've made the good decisions because Ciri is super smiling and always gives Geralt a big hug after they make the decision. So you leave and they're happy. And this kind of leads us into the second optional quest, which is called Skjal's Grave. So
Well,
basically,
going back, that's that one right there is the decision that I did not do correctly. I did the calm down.
did you? Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Well, because like doing it, I'm like, no, we need to stay stoic. We need to
Yes.
control our emotions. And so I was actually pretty shocked, like you said, when it was over and put the necklace, she walks away. I remember thinking like, oh,
Oh, that doesn't feel right. Yeah.
yeah, because I didn't know that these were the big decisions,
Yeah, you
but
don't.
but like I said, I'd chosen correctly before. And with this, I was like, that might have been not the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's interesting when you pick a bad decision, it really shows in Ciri's face. Like she's either really down and almost depressed looking, or she's really worked up and angry. And that one that we've just done, and the next one we're about to do, she's really, really angry. And what's the word? It's like she has this anger inside her. She wants to release it somehow, and you're kind of disallowing that almost. You're telling her to just pack it in, basically.
Well, this next one was so bloody clear that if
Yeah.
you mess this up, you deserve the
Yeah, you
bad
deserve
ending.
the
If this
bad ending.
tilted you, oh, actually, if you mess this up, you 100% had the bad ending because there's no way you picked all the other ones correctly
Yeah.
to mess this one up too. So I'm sure this is a
Exactly.
one that's very easy to find out.
Yeah. So when three of you get back outside of the lab, Ciri starts telling Yen and Geralt, "Oh, hang on, do we have time to go to Hindersfjall? Like, I met this really nice guy called Skjal. I'd like to go and see him." And if you think back to very much earlier in the game, Yen and Geralt have met Skjal under much more strange circumstances than Ciri did. It's actually the guy that we brought back to life in the garden. What garden was that? I can't remember the name of the garden now.
Freya,
Yeah, Freya's garden.
Freya's
We
garden.
brought his corpse back to life, and that's how we got information on where Ciri was. So Yen has to break the news to Ciri that Skjal is dead. She says, "I was there, I saw his body." And Ciri says, "Well, we need to go, and I want to visit his grave. And here's your decision. You say, yeah, I'll go with you. Or you say, no, there's no time."
No time. Your friend that saved you, you say you want to
Yeah,
go pay respects. Just
no
nah, we
time.
don't have time for that shit.
Yeah. And Yen says, we can go later, but there's more important things to do right now. Ciri's very visibly pissed off. She goes, "Oh yeah, there's always more important things to do," and then walks off. Yennefer stops you from going over to speak to her, and then Geralt kind of stays back. You can see Ciri and Yennefer speaking in the distance, but you can't hear the conversation. But you can see every time that Yennefer tries to touch Ciri on the shoulder, she's like, "Oh, get off me, get off me."
Yeah.
And then they both go away in a portal, and Geralt's left there. So that's your bad ending. But if you are not an asshole and you go with her, they take a portal to go to Hindersfjall, and they initially are searching for Skjald's grave. And if you remember, the whole storyline with Skjal is that everyone thought that he fled the battlefield, so he was given this title of
Craven.
Craven. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So he was kind of, this word always escapes me, but he basically had no honor. That's what they believed. He had no honor for running away from the battlefield, so he was Craven, and he wasn't going to be given a typical Skellige funeral or anything like that. So they can't find his grave. And Ciri remembers this kind of ditch pit that some bodies were put in, so she thinks he might be there, and she's right. That's where he is. His corpse is just lying there still. I don't know how long it's been since we were last here, but he's
Yeah.
he's still fine looking.
I
Not
guess
fine,
depends.
but still intact, I guess.
Yeah, it depends on how many Gwent tournaments and fist
Yeah,
fights we've done since then.
exactly. So you don't see this part, but Ciri and Geralt take the body and give him a proper burial out near the sea. And whilst they're paying their respects, some locals approach, and they're pissed off that they've given Skjal, or Craven as they call him, a proper burial because they think he doesn't deserve it because he's fled the battlefield, blah blah blah. There's a few different options here. In my playthrough, Siri punches the dude and is like, Scal saved all of your lives. And one of my favorite lines is the local woman's like, oh, some lass can't just come and do what she wants on our land. She goes, I am not some lass. And if anyone else says anything about it, you're going to learn the hard way. And I was just like, go on, lass. It's like, you show them.
Some lass. Like,
Just
ooh,
own it. Yeah.
now we know how to push series buttons. Call her a lass.
Yeah, some lass. But yeah, either way, they just kind of say to the locals, you know, you're wrong about Scal. And people kind of say, well, we're never going to know. But the only thing that's worse than fleeing the battlefield is messing around with a grave or a dead person's burial or whatever. So we'll leave it and the gods can judge Scal. And that's pretty much it. Ciri's very appreciative that you took the time to come and do this with her. And you can head away back home together.
I like how they say, all right, we don't like this, but we're going to allow it. And yeah, we can't desecrate a grave, so the gods will decide.
Yeah.
Instead of taking on this, obviously two trained and honed fighters.
Yeah. They're like, oh, okay, we'll leave that one to the gods.
You win this round.
They've got more sense than most of the people that Geralt comes across in this game then anyway.
Yeah. All right. That's battle preparations. We are ready for the battle.
We are ready for the battle. We've done fine. I love the quest names. I think maybe they ran out of steam at this point because we had final preparations, then we've got battle preparations.
They're just like, it's late. The game is late. Just whatever. Yeah, it's like 2:00 because obviously I bet they probably got crunched maybe back then. And they're just like, all right, we have. It's at the end. We got final preparations.
We got battle
preparations. Then, they have to prepare for the battle. Battle preparations.
Yeah.
Good, everybody. Good. Okay, we're done. We can go home now.
Release it.
Yeah, okay, that's it. We're good. We'll do the thin ice pun later. That'll be the next one. All right. So again, a big thanks, Mark983, producing, cutting up this audio, putting everything in there, making us look and sound good. Find us on Twitter, Witcher Podcast, Insta, Witcher Pod. We'll put the Discord link below. Make sure you join there. It has been a lot more active this past week or so.
Oh, it's several people good. Join. Yeah, it's been really good fun.
Yeah, it is good vibes only. So again, if Reddit or some other places are a little bit too toxic for you, make sure to check it out. If you don't generally use Discord, it's very easy to use. Our Discord is basically the only place that I really use now. There's just so much to do, and I can't handle. I'm too old. I can't handle all the social media, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Again, very good thing on Discord there.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to get the hang of as well. And like you said, it is nice having one area instead of having, Twitter for this, Instagram for this. Discord's quite a nice. We've got bits for everything in there. And yeah, if you haven't used it before, I would really recommend it. It's really easy to get the hang of, and everyone's there, so you can just talk all day to somebody if you want.
Anything and everything, especially about the podcast. Any question, comment, or to answer on here.
Yeah. For sure. That's the best place to go.
My frog is coming up here. And this is probably going to be the last time we read off the patron names because we're getting so many of them.
I'm honestly so chuffed to bits. And every time we get a new patron, me and Brett DM each other just a little yay, a little yay emoji.
It's usually amazing, whoever gets the email first. Yeah. Is just like, wait, what? If it's over, they do that. So yes, Hal, Jack, Maddie, MJags, Jorgen, Tim, Rage Quit, Jackson, Jeanette, Willis, Nick Z, Austin, Thomas, R2, Rose, Taylor, Flag, and Lucrezia.
Love that.
Thank you all
17 of y'all.
So much. Yeah, we're going to keep the names up there, at least through when we get 25. But we'll keep that down there in the notes, and we'll have the Patreon link down there. If you, for some reason, whatever the reason that is, just discovered us, if you watched House of the Dragon, we did episode by episode. Linked on there. We also have, I believe it was episode 8 that is in the main feed.
9.
It was episode 9. That's right. It was episode 9. The Green Council. That is, I just pulled out my headphones.
No, you can't hear me. I'll keep it going. Don't worry. Yes, episode 9, The Green Council, is on the main Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever feed. So you can get a little taster of the Patreon there if you want to have a little listen there before you commit to the full thing. But definitely have a listen. It's been really good fun discussing the House of the Dragon.
We've gone super fucking long by the end of it. So we had that full season covered. We just released one over our favorite 2 episodes of Game of Thrones. I picked Fire and Blood from season 1. Lucy chose Mountain and the Viper from season 4. We went about 2 hours and 10 minutes on it.
It's really silly.
It is. We talk a lot on that as well. And the next one that we're going to put out is going to be season 1 of The Witcher. We're going to do episode by episode, like director's type commentary, where you sync up the episode. We sync it up together and we say go, and then we watch it and talk about it. And it'll be much more interesting now, again, that we know that Henry Cavill will not be back.
That's insane. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun doing that. I think that's going to be one where we have a drink and just watch along, because I don't think either of us have watched that in quite a long time. So it'll be there's loads of stuff that I can't even remember, which I'm so excited to watch it again.
Yep. So that'll be coming out in the upcoming weeks. Lucy, where can we find you?
You can find me at Lucy J Robin on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. I'm very close to the end of my Elden Ring playthrough. I've been slugging through the Millennia fight. I am a stubborn bull, and this is just bringing out the worst side of me. So,
how many 5 nights you've done it?
Oh God, yeah.
So 5 nights streaming at least.
I stream about 2 to 3 hours a night. Yeah.
One was 5 hours.
Yeah, that was Saturday.
Was 5 hours.
Yeah.
Fuck. So you're basically gone about 11, 12, 13 hours against Millennia.
Trying to fight Millennia. It's actually embarrassing when you say Well, I really want to beat it with no summons. And maybe by the time this podcast comes out on Monday, I might have done it. Fingers crossed.
You got Friday, you got Saturday.
Saturday.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You've done it. So yeah, check out Lucy there, and the struggle is real.
The struggle is real, but it's good fun.
It is. All right, you can find me on Twitter at the Fox Bride 4, or find me on Twitch and Instagram at the Fox Bride. Join us next time on the path as we are on thin ice.